Welcome to week 10 of the Summer to Evolve Recruiter Skill Sessions. I hope that you've been enjoying all of the great content throughout this series. My name's Amy Hughes and I'm the Senior Director of Customer Enablement at Jobvite. Today we're going to be talking about content strategies for recruitment marketing. I know this is an area that a lot of companies struggle with in developing content that's targeted for their key audiences. So I'm hopeful that today's session is going to provide you with some useful tips and tricks for developing new content. Let's get started. As I mentioned, today's topic is all about content strategies for recruitment marketing. So we're going to start by talking about how to prioritize your audiences, because it's really important to know who you're targeting and what's important to those candidates as you are developing your content and your content strategy. And then we'll talk about what a recruitment content strategy looks like and who you should involve from your organization in the actual development and creation of content. We'll talk about the characteristics of great content and share some tips and tricks for your writing style to improve the content effectiveness. And then finally, I'm going to share some additional resources with you to help you generate new ideas for content. Modern recruitment has direct parallels to modern marketing. Candidates expect the same consumer-grade experiences that they encounter in B2C marketing in the recruitment marketing content. The complex, multi-channel, personalized, integrated, and data-driven nature of modern marketing should influence the way that recruiting organizations and talent acquisition professionals approach recruitment and how they approach recruitment content. So what this really means is that audiences interact with your brand in many different ways. It's through job boards, career sites, social media. So your content strategy needs to align so that it's relevant to each audience. And then you use data to validate the effectiveness of your strategy and make adjustments as needed. Before we begin developing content, we need to determine the audiences we want to target and prioritize them. Understanding which audiences are most important to your business performance is one of the most important steps that you can take to create a more effective content strategy for your recruiting organization. If you've been attending the recruiter skill sessions, you know that we discussed audiences a few weeks ago. So I won't go into too much detail here defining audiences, but to summarize, there's 3 different types of audiences. Key talent audiences consist of the critical roles for your organization. So this can include high volume roles, critical roles like sales or RNs, where if we don't have these roles in our organization, they really keep our business running and generate revenue. So without them, it can have a very negative impact on your business. Strategic audiences consist of specific groups of candidates, including diversity, inclusion, veterans and military, campus, or executive leadership. Again, key groups that can impact the dollar, your bottom line. And then relationship audiences consist of people who already know about you and your brand. So these audiences can be current or former employees, contractors, or past applicants. So if you haven't already, you'll want to prioritize your audiences before you begin developing a content strategy, and then develop a persona for each of these audiences. Why? Because each of these audiences requires a different content strategy, one that is personalized and relevant to them. To learn more about audiences and personas, I'd encourage you to watch the session on the Jobvite YouTube channel. But for now, let's move on and talk about the foundation of your content strategy. We've already talked about key talent audiences and personas. So next is to develop your content objectives. What do you want your recruitment content to achieve? And how will you measure success? For example, you might want to increase your career site visitors by a certain percentage. Or what about growing your overall social followers? Make sure that your objectives are measurable, time-bound, and specific. Next is your core messaging. Now, core messaging should focus on your overall employer brand content and employee value proposition. You must ensure that these foundational messages are created and central to all of your recruitment content. From there, you can start to move into the main messages per audience. Since you already have prioritized, segmented, and researched your key audiences critical to your recruiting efforts, you should be able to draft content that echoes what they've told you in your interviews and research. You also want to ensure you know which types of content you need to influence each audience. What types of content are most likely to appeal to each priority audience, and what's the purpose of each message? Specifically, are you trying to educate, entertain, or persuade the candidate to take action on something, or convert them along the talent journey? Defining this will help you establish your core content overall. From there, you need to identify the primary channels you're going to use to reach that audience. Social posts, career site content, talent networks, videos, events, SMS text messages, job recommendations, email, chatbot, whatever it is, make sure you know how your key audience can be most effectively reached based on your research. Also, be thinking about your employees and customers and partners that can expand the reach of your messages. The next element you must take into account is the stage of the talent journey for your content. Just like in modern marketing, recruiters must understand where candidates are in searching for information about your organization. Are they in the awareness level, just browsing your content casually? Or are they considering more seriously and evaluating your employer brand and company as a place to work? Or are they in the last stages of decision making where they're deciding between your organization or another company to apply? Identifying content for each of these different levels will ensure that you have content across each spectrum of the talent journey and target your recruitment messaging at the individual level for each candidate. Also determine whether you already have these types of content pieces developed or if you need to create content to fill in each stage of the talent journey. Finally, ensure that your content delivers a clear benefit and a specific appeal to your candidates throughout your prioritized audiences. Give a clear, specific call to action so you can increase chances for conversion. Remember, candidate conversion occurs in multiple ways, including joining a talent network, signing up for a job alert, registering for an event, acquiring profiles from personalization, or the ultimate conversion point, applying for a job. Working through these 6 elements will ensure you have the right foundation in place to develop recruitment content that works and amplifies your employer brand. So now that we have the foundation, we need to talk about who owns content generation. Content creation is not owned by a single person in your organization. In large enterprise organizations, we increasingly see specialists within the recruitment function who develop content. In other companies, talent acquisition often taps into marketing for help with content. So whatever your size organization, everyone can play a role in content development as long as the output aligns with the core messaging and audience. As recruiting organizations mature, the majority of successful recruitment marketing activity is being driven by dedicated specialists rather than at the recruiter level. So to empower the success of your recruitment marketing activities and improve your recruitment content, consider the most important roles to add to your team, and those you will have to leverage from other parts within your company. There are really 2 key roles essential in brand and content development. These include employer brand management and content marketing creation. So the individual or individuals responsible for developing, articulating, supporting, and enhancing the employer brand must possess authentic storytelling capabilities and truly understand that an employer brand is more than just a company's vision or values. This person must be able to show what it's really like to work in your company and articulate a genuine employee value proposition that provides a window into your culture. This means actively capturing employee stories, explaining potential career paths, and walking through a typical day for various key talent audiences. Individuals in this role must be creative, compassionate, and comfortable working across multiple candidate outreach channels to articulate the employment brand. And this includes career sites, blogs, videos, social, digital, review sites, in-person events, all while juggling multiple employer branding priorities. So communication skills, cross-functional collaboration, and organizational skills are a must. Just as in the corporate marketing world, content marketing for recruitment is all about being able to write effectively, clearly, and effectively across multiple outlets for candidate attraction and engagement. So individuals well suited for this role must be natural storytellers and be comfortable generating large volumes of recruitment content to build the employer brand, attract potential candidates, nurture outreach, and encourage conversion. This means proficiency in ad copy, social media, career site content, email, text, and other channels for a diverse range of talent audiences. Content should be compelling and support the overall recruitment marketing strategy and directly support recruiters in their efforts to relate to and nurture candidates. The ability to optimize for SEO, mobile, and measure content effectiveness are also essential in improving content performance for the long term. Now, to support the need for better recruitment content and articulating a strong employer brand, many recruiting organizations have turned to their corporate marketing functions or corporate communication teams to aid and assist in developing content for talent acquisition. The key here is to remember again that modern recruitment is modern marketing. So if you choose to engage your corporate teams, try to find ways to engage them early and often, rather than on a limited, disconnected basis. Really, by working together, you can create a collaborative approach that addresses the divide between departments. Collaborate and involve internal creative resources to conceptualize, develop, and design high-value recruitment content that's going to fuel your recruiting strategies. And when you effectively leverage your internal resources and allow cross-functional ownership in your talent attraction initiatives, you'll be impressed with the outcomes and success you can achieve in creating effective recruitment content for your organization. But great recruitment content, it can really take a variety of forms, and it has to work across a variety of channels. But it does have some very important characteristics in common. So specifically, great recruitment content is transparent, it's genuine, and it's authentic. Above all else, recruitment content should be authentic. It must provide a window into your culture so candidates know whether they'll make a good fit. And with all the competition for recruitment content today, authentic content is the only way to stand out from your competitors. It's important to incorporate storytelling as a vital part of each element. Incorporate authentic stories from employees that highlight your culture, your value proposition, and your workforce. Highlight the strongest portions of your culture like diversity, inclusion, or work-life balance. And go beyond the rational benefits to include the emotional elements that are going to connect with candidates. Content reinforces your employer brand. So all of your content should be guided by your employer brand messaging foundation. These are really the guiding pillars of your organizational culture and reflect what it's like to work for you. And then leverage the 5-1 rule. And what this means is 5 pieces of quality recruitment stories or content for every job posting. There was a SHRM article that discussed the importance of providing 5 pieces of good content or stories for every job posting, indicating that job seekers will see your company as real and interesting and will be more likely to engage. So content also, a common characteristic is that it is used and repurposed across a variety of channels. And I know that this is something that a lot of companies don't think about, and that's repurposing content and just changing it slightly so that it is continues to be relevant to your audiences. So to get the most mileage out of your content, try to leverage it and tailor it across various media. So we'll talk about this more in just a minute. The next characteristic is that it's personalized at the individual candidate level, leveraging great recruitment marketing technology. So with the help of an enterprise recruitment marketing platform, you can personalize content at the individual level. You can welcome candidates to your career site, leverage machine learning and AI candidate-centric technology to deliver personalized content and then deliver it for candidates based on where they are in their talent journey. Content should also be warm, welcoming, conversational, and fun. Recruitment content should not be frustrating or a chore. It should be warm and welcoming. Great content provides useful, informative, engaging, or educational content depending on the stage of the talent journey. Recruitment content should also be informative and give candidates the information they need to make decisions to go forward in their journey with you. It should also grab attention and break through the clutter. Try to stand out from the crowd. Leverage the best, most authentic content to help your recruitment messages matter. And finally, great content offers a clear call to action on each piece to convert candidates. The ultimate conversion opportunity is to get candidates to apply for positions in your company. So make sure all of your recruitment content, no matter which channel or message is used, offers a very clear, specific call to action that will encourage conversions no matter where or when it's presented. So I mentioned repurposing content. So I know that many teams struggle with how to get enough mileage out of the content they create. So when you create a piece of content, it should serve more than one purpose. It should go beyond just one social post or one employee video or one blog post. This is what we call repurposing, and it's an essential characteristic of great recruitment content. So we have 3 specific strategies to help you repurpose your content. The first is to change the format. So for example, if you've captured an employee story on video, repurpose it into a blog post or create a story for your career site. Second, break the content into smaller pieces. So you can take quotes from a blog and use them as separate social posts, or take photos that you've posted on your career site of actual employees and post them to Instagram. Whatever it is, you can break your larger pieces and put them into smaller assets that carry your recruitment content further. And the third is to revitalize older recruitment content. Since your content should strategically align to your employer brand, you can dust it off and reuse it. Find great content you created some time ago and recycle it, and apply both the rules of format and smaller pieces to take it even further. Writing can be intimidating, but it doesn't have to be. So here are some fun, practical tips to make drafting recruitment content easier. As you sit down to write, use these tips to improve the effectiveness and ease of your writing ability. So first, answer, so what? Who cares? Is what you're really saying resonating with anyone? How does it affect them, and why should they care? Make sure your recruitment content can speak to the value the individual will derive by interacting with your messaging. Get to the point quickly and give candidates a reason to engage with you even further. Second, personalized and highly conversational writing is the best way to appeal to candidates. Write in second person, you, as if you were talking to a close friend. Avoid first or third person of I or we, because it's either too self-serving or way too general to appeal to key talent audiences. And next, help people understand what you want them to do from your writing by using active verbs. Get a list of active verbs you can really use to show the value of your content. If you're struggling to come up with some active verbs, use your thesaurus, always and often. It's a great tool. But here's a list of some great active verbs that you can use. Discover, increase, identify, examine, explore, analyze. I'm not going to go through all of these, but hopefully this is giving you some ideas on how you can start to write some of your content. Our next tip is to keep it simple. This is a great way to put your writing to the test. Overcomplicating your writing does no one a favor. I'm guilty of it myself. Make sure to reduce the complexity so it passes the speed bump test of clarity. Take out the extra words that don't contribute to your overall meaning, and never ever overwrite. Your writing doesn't need to impress anyone, but it should encourage them to take action. Number 5 is to write in threes. Well, what does that mean? It means that this style can help you structure your sentences. So think of 3 compelling phrases you can work into a sentence or phrase. The 3 rule helps you provide a framework, and it's a great way for our minds to remember the content we read. For example, you could say, joining our organization means you get to collaborate with great people, influence the future of our technology, and learn what it's like to lead in the industry. So do you see the 3 in that sentence? The 6th tip is to read your recruitment content aloud and then read it aloud again. Part of being a good writer is understanding how words fit together. View words and sentences as a puzzle. The words should fit seamlessly together, but the only way you can hear it is to read your writing out loud. So get used to doing this. It's a little awkward at first, but once you do this over and over again, you'll realize you're reducing the complexity, and there's a rise and fall to your sentences. It should almost sound like a song if you do it right. The next tip is part of the fun of writing is knowing your grammar rules and then learning how to break them. So everyone knows a good sentence contains a noun and a verb, and there can be adjectives and adverbs that modify our words and phrases. Parts of speech are a part of understanding what makes good writing. But then when you understand all of these grammatical and punctuation rules, you can start to break them. It changes the cadence and flow of our sentences, and it keeps readers engaged, and it makes your writing much more interesting. So first be the student and then be the teacher. And last, remember writing can be overwhelming. No matter the scope of what you're doing, try to have fun with it and have empathy for your readers. In other words, what would you want to read this content? Try to show the joy that you have in writing. And when you demonstrate a personality depending on your brand's identity, tone, and feel, you can show the fun of who you are individually and who your organization is collectively. So many companies often struggle with developing engaging content or don't know what types of content to use in their recruitment marketing strategy. So we've put together a few ideas to help get you started. But remember, the key is to align the content to an audience. So if your target audience isn't going to really engage with social media, don't develop content and post it, and instead find and use the channels that are most relevant to them. So first, videos and photos can have a meaningful impact on candidates. Videos of employees telling their story make it easier for a candidate to relate to the people they'll be working with and the type of environment they'll be in. And depending on the audience, again, social media posts about your employees, key initiatives, or support of local communities is an effective way to establish your brand and what you're all about. If you have the resources, consider a blog on your career site. Tell candidates what your hiring process is. Share tips and tricks for interviewing at your company. Or introduce them to your CEO or key executives in the organization. And then another idea is to share any awards that you have won. Maybe your candidate experience or the fact that you've been recognized as a great place to work. Other recognition for your military or diversity programs is also incredibly meaningful and relevant if these are the strategic audiences you need to attract. So we've talked about this, that candidates today want the same quality experiences in their talent journey that they receive in their daily lives. This means that, again, the content we deliver has to be modern, personalized, AI-powered experiences with tailored recruitment content to build relationships. Candidates want personalized communication and content delivered across multiple channels, including career sites and microsite content, but it's also about your texts and your emails and chatbots. Second, it's also important to be able to tell an authentic story. So we've talked about this, but I will emphasize it again. Being genuine in the recruitment messaging is how you differentiate your company and what resonates with candidates who fit well within your organizational culture. We've talked about leveraging stories of employees. Identify what makes your company unique and what a typical day is like speaks to the heart of your candidates. So your content should deliver messages that empower candidates to know whether they can see themselves working in your organization. And again, content should be relevant to each candidate educate them, inform them, engage them with the goal of converting them across the talent journey. Make sure to embed the content in the right context and because the right piece of content at the right time to the right person is really what makes the difference in converting candidates throughout their journey with you. There's a lot of different ways to continue improving the quality of your recruitment content, but here's a few that we recommend. So first, consider joining an online community. For example, Rally Recruitment Marketing is an online recruitment marketing community of more than 14,000 practitioners, and they offer events, training courses, and guidance on recruitment marketing activities and recruitment content creation. Second, try to attend an industry event. Maybe not as easy today, but in the future, be thinking about Social Recruiting Strategies Conference and Employer Branding Strategies Conference are great events geared towards creating employer brand and recruitment content. And third, stay current in your industry. Articles on recruitment content best practices are constantly featured on popular sites like SHRM and Forbes. So follow online media channels for news, trends, and best practices, and use that to develop your content. So I thank you for participating in this course on how to build a recruitment content strategy that works. We trust that this has improved your understanding of how to write great content and how to create the foundation of your recruitment marketing efforts. What's next? So we have a lot going on this week with Summer to Evolve. In addition to this recruiter skill session, we also have our Two Talented discussion around building diverse audiences. Our demo day is going to be talking about branded content creation and management for recruitment marketing campaigns. You can find more information on each of these on summertoevolve.com, and you can register for those events. Next week's theme is going to be AI and automation, so we're really excited about that as well. And we encourage you and invite you to get social with us at #JobviteS2E. So thank you once again. I hope that you found this session useful, and have a great day.